Hello. And there's like a screen.
Yeah.
Was it somebody get a
Mm-hmm. This is
No,
we're finally back. This is episode 23.
Oh, so we're just starting.
Of the yes, we are. We're just starting.
Those are rough.
Episode 23 of the Horse Lick Review.
And the episode abruptly starts.
Yes. So, guys,
I don't know where it can happen.
it's been a while. Michael, you might want to pull your mic in. I know you ain't done this in a while.
No lube, you just fucking went for
You
it.
too, Jake. I did. No lube. Went straight
Didn't
in
even
for the
spit
kill.
on it, man. Just
For
stuck
the
it right
kill.
in.
Hot to it.
Oh, God.
Spit on that fire.
Let's restart over. Let's
Yeah, I
restart.
know.
Let's restart. Start over. No. So, yeah. Been a bit of a hiatus for us, but we have returned for those who do listen to us in our conversations, in our,
When was the last episode?
Man, specific.
Christmas. We did our Christmas
Yeah,
episode, and then
around
we all
Christmas,
fell off the
before
face of
Christmas.
the earth. We had things happen, things going
Then the
on
hole opened up. Yeah.
in our lives, and
Yeah, a lot of bad stuff happened.
so, you know.
terrible. Terrible.
But we're back now, and we have, and in good fashion, we're not doing any stories, so we're just gonna hang out. Unless you've got stories, I don't have stories,
No, I don't have stories this time.
Cool.
I figured we would just...
so it's gonna be a relaxing episode. We're all gonna spend time together.
I only have the right side of my body.
And we're gonna learn about each other in ways that we never knew. We're gonna feel each other in ways we've never
inside
felt.
and out.
I'm being touched.
Inside and out, greasy and dry, wet,
Physically
physical.
and metaphysically.
Okay, so guys, we're back to entertain whoever listens to us. I'm not sure who does, but what's been going on? Anything new? You know, we were just talking about a lot of cool stuff before we started, and now we're like,
Okay, so do you want to, like, dark shit or fun dark shit?
oh, we don't. I mean, we're just whatever's going on. You seen any good movies lately?
Did we talk about Nosferatu the last time or not?
No, and I have not seen. I have waited
didn't
still.
get to see that.
You know, I keep waiting for a what's his name? Robert Eggers.
Yeah, what about him?
I'm waiting for it because they have.
Wolfman? Oh, no, you're
No.
waiting for a collection.
Well, they have they have a thing where you can get the witch,
The Vitch.
the witch,
It's two V's.
Yeah,
lighthouse, and something else together. What's the other movie?
Is it Northman?
Northman. The Northman, the witch, and the lighthouse together. I'm waiting for them to do a pack.
Lighthouse is one of my favorite.
I'm
that's
waiting
the
for
one-
'em.
That's
that's
the only
movies.
one of those movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen The Lighthouse.
I'm waiting
Oh
for
my
'em.
God, people! There's
Hey, shut
you
your mouth.
right? Yeah, watch them.
Well, I'm waiting for a pack that has
One of my favorite modern.
the lighthouse, the witch, the Northman, and Nosferatu in it.
It's
and
based
then-
on the past.
And then I'm going to buy it,
He's doing The Wolfman next.
and then I'll watch it. He's remaking the Wolfman.
I don't know if it's a remake or if it's just going to be a werewolf story and called The Wolfman.
Well, you know, a lot of people hate the one with Benicio del Toro.
I never watched it. I've wanted to, but
A lot of people think it's garbage. My dad enjoyed it. I never watched it, but my dad really liked it.
it looks like they're trying to make werewolves happen again, man. Because there was I don't even remember what it was called, but there's the story where all the werewolves like descend upon a certain town or something. I wanted to see that.
And they're all werewolves. Like a bunch of people become werewolves. That new one, it's called Werewolf, right?
I think so. I saw a preview for it. I don't know if it ever came
Or
out or if it
werewolves.
came and went. And then there was another.
There's one called werewolves. And there's another.
Well, then there was
called
another
something
one that
else.
was maybe it was the one called. I know Robert Eggers is doing like a werewolf movie, but there was something with the
When we saw
actress from the Ozarks that everybody liked, the little blonde girl who's going to be Silver Surfer, the Shia LaBeouf Silver Surfer in the new Fantastic Four movie. Her
Yeah,
husband
sure.
becomes a werewolf in that movie.
the Eggers movie,
No. In this other werewolf movie, like I said, it seems like we're about. If it takes off, it seems like we're gonna get a glut of werewolf movies, like we got a glut of zombie movies.
are you talking about the one we saw in the trailers at Terrifier 3?
That's the werewolf.
No,
That was
No.
called Werewolf.
no,
That
the
was
one in
called
the,
Werewolves, I thought.
The one in Terrifier 3 was the one about a bunch of werewolves.
Yeah.
I think I saw the preview for this one when I watched the Captain America movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a new one called something else. Because I thought it was the werewolves
Well,
one. I was like,
it's
that's
it's
called
it's
something
about
different.
damn time.
But it's also about werewolves.
Yeah, I hope we get a glut
We ain't
of
had
werewolf stuff.
good werewolf movies, like besides some of the stuff in Underworld I enjoyed. I liked Rise of the Lycans,
Yeah, that was actually my favorite of all of that.
but
Bitch, I
but-
bring it back to Ginger Snaps.
we haven't had like the rush of like classic style werewolves stuff since the 80s. And like where vampires have been going so long, and of course I like vampires, but they've been going all along. They've never stopped.
Yeah,
Whereas
but it comes in waves, man. We had vampires for a long time throughout like the 90s.
2000s,
Then in the 2000s, zombies took over for like 10 years or more.
yeah, but the Underworld movies were really big.
That's true, but zombies were still dominating.
Resident Evil is still one of my favorite
Oh,
game
Resident Evil.
franchises,
Ran-
not
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Oh
th-
my
those
God,
movies.
Zach Kreger from Whitest Kids You Know is directing Resident Evil 1. Like, even though they tried to do Resident Evil 1 quite recently, I haven't even seen it because I heard it was god awful.
What do you mean? Tried to do Resident Evil 1? When was this?
Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City was the name of it.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah. it's a real
Oh,
thing.
okay.
And
I
they-
think I remember that.
Apparently, they tried to combine 1 and 2. I haven't seen it. I don't care. I know it's going to disappoint me. Like,
Resident Evil.
here's the thing: I don't want to pay to see it, and I've never had an opportunity not.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the previews for this. Now that I'm looking at it.
Oh yeah, well, so none of y'all saw Nosferatu then?
No,
to.
sorry, we got really
Zach
sidetracked.
Kreger from Whitest Kids You
Yeah,
Know.
we heard you. I
That's
don't know which
crazy.
one that is.
He's the guy,
Okay.
not the guy that died. The other guy.
Well, of course not the guy that died. How's he going to be directing a new movie?
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Necromancy.
I'm sorry.
Necromancy.
I digress.
Necromancy. Who's this guy?
Nosferatu.
Just weird ass
well,
monster.
Nosferatu is pretty good. Willem Dafoe is really good as the
Doctor.
Van Helsing stand-in, since everybody knows Nosferatu is just unlicensed version of Dracula.
But it's awesome.
Lighthouse.
Oh no,
main
it rules.
character.
Yeah, the difference is Count Orlok's not suave and smooth. He's just always looks like a walking parasite. He looks like old European folklore vampire.
Yeah, which is awesome.
That was the difference. Things I like about it, they really expand on. If you remember the original Nosferatu, where Hooter goes to the village before he reaches like Castle Orlok, they really expand on like the gypsy village.
Yeah.
That was really cool. The only off-putting thing I thought about the movie was, for some reason, Count Orlok has a mustache the entire time, like a very
Like weird.
Russian royalty mustache, despite the fact that he's
Like a John Waters mustache?
no, like a Russian royalty, like Russian aristocracy style mustache.
John Waters would be thin.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you might have meant it was a thin
Big
mustache.
regal.
This is a
ass
thick
mustache.
Orlok does?
Yeah, this is a thick regal stash on an otherwise like rotting human being.
That's weird.
It is weird. It's the only.
Does it
thing,
look cool though?
I mean, it's all right, I guess, but it's the only thing that's weird about the movie. The movie in general is really good. If you're a fan of folklore, you'll like it. It's also slower. If you didn't like The Witch, you probably won't like it. If you're a fan of the original film, you'll probably like it. What's Johnny Depp's daughter's name? Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah, she plays.
She plays Hooter's wife. She does a really good job, except for one scene. There's one hand-fisted acting scene that I'm not going to mention. People can figure that one out for themselves. But other than that, like, the acting all across the board is really good. Like, she does a good job. There's just one scene that almost takes you out of it. But yeah, in general, really good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Robert Eggers movie, because for me it's hard to beat The Witch and The Northman. Those were both really good, but overall, like, it's worth seeing.
What's the runtime?
I will watch it. I will watch it. I was thinking
4 hours.
we were talking about old movies,
Just modern movies.
really old movies. I thought I heard that they were doing a remake of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, but they're not. Kind of thankfully, because I love the original. Have you ever watched that?
I think it's been a long time.
Just the way they did all the backdrops and the set and everything.
Yeah.
Everything's weird and distorted. Like all the doors and everything will be like slanted. And Biz watched that with me. I had Biz watch it with me, and it was pretty cool. I love it. I want to watch it again now. It's not super long.
Did you check?
It's an old silent movie. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
You're a big Witcher fan. Did you finally check out Witcher?
I've
Sirens
not
of the
yet,
Deep?
dude.
Michael, have you seen Witcher Sirens of the Deep?
I have not seen Witcher anything. I almost bought the game, but I've yet to play it.
There are two ways to look at it. It's a cartoon movie. There are two ways to look at it. It is either The Little Mermaid with violence, or it is a criticism of stories like The Little Mermaid. Because
That's
it starts
probably
out-
what it
It
is.
starts out, it's really good. And then there's a musical scene. Like that feels like it was lifted directly out of Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Well, because I feel
And
like-
then if you look at it one way, it's fucking hilarious. If you look at it another, where it's like a criticism about, like, you know, the Prince Eric type characters being useless and not doing anything, it's either a hackneyed, shitty Little Mermaid with violence, or it's a fairly good, you know, criticism / treatise.
Well, I feel like
on those
there's
types of
when you're talking
stories.
about the mermaid thing, like I feel like there's a part because a lot of the books like will be, you know, chunks of like different little like quests or where
Different
he's
Little
been like
Mermaids.
fighting or tracking down some kind of beast or monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so I feel like there is one, but I don't. I mean, maybe they put the musical part in there just to drive home because maybe that's how because I don't really.
Maybe they did, but that's the thing is, without the musical part, I would say 100% it is definitely a criticism of that. But it's almost like with the musical part, it almost becomes a parody of itself. Because it's so Ursula Ariel.
Okay. I was just reading here, like, they're going to be doing, like, a play. I don't know how widespread it'll be, doing, like, a stage adaptation of the Cabinet of
Oh, that's
Dr.
cool.
Caligari, but somebody did something in 2005, which is a remake film, but I never heard of that. But, anyway, I've been mostly, you know, all the regular day-to-day life stuff. But then, like, entertainment-wise, we've just been playing a lot of video games. And for a long time, I was, like, ADD, because my ADD had me into hyper-focus mode.
Yeah.
Locked into Red Dead Redemption 2 for a long time. I finally broke. What is weird is I got the Steam version, went on sale.
Yeah.
I rebought the game because it was on sale for really cheap, on a quick little short sale. And I started modding it just to put some extra stuff in. And then, weirdly enough, that's when all of a sudden I just kind of stopped playing it.
Did you stop playing it once you got the hat you're wearing? Did that satisfy the need?
No, I had this hat.
It was the twisty mustache.
I haven't played.
It was
that
when I got the
game.
mustache, and I finally got my mustache trained. Because you have to. This is work, bro. I mean, I knew you had to put some work in for, you know, a fancy stash. But man, it's a lot of training. It's a lot of combing. You got to get some wax. You got to put the stuff in, like the stuff that tames your hair, like, you know, like product,
Yeah, what, beard oil?
oils, butters.
Yeah.
Crimps.
Beard and mustache butters, beard and mustache oils, and you have to comb it. You have to train these motherfuckers. I did not realize it was going to take this much work. But then, you know, now I wake up in the morning and it handlebars itself, baby. And I like it. Biz loves it. But
yeah, Red Dead 2, never
God, that
played
game is so good, dude.
that because I know it would suck me in, and that would be all I do.
Well,
That's
then
why-
you know what,
And
motherfucker?
I have to avoid
That's what I did.
award-winning games.
That's why I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom.
Because you know it'll suck your ass in.
Because I know that's all I'll
Because
do.
you are a Zelda man for sure.
I fucking love Zelda.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even a Zelda man. Like my favorite Zelda is the
Not a
NES,
Zelda man.
the original Zelda on NES. That's my favorite one. And I do like the Adventures of Link because that's the first one I ever actually
I'm glad you
played in
didn't
my
say that was
life.
your favorite though, because that would make me want to punch you.
But I mean, the Adventures of Link is not bad. It's not as
It's
bad
not
as everybody
good either.
says. It's not as bad as everybody says because during that time, this is the thing. Okay, yeah, it's not the best game in the world, but this is what grinds my gears when people talk about fucking the Adventures of Link. Okay, it's completely goes away from the Zelda formula, motherfucker. There was one game before
Well, yeah,
that.
that's
There was
stu-
no
that-
formula.
That is a stupid criticism. It's just clunky, dude. It just doesn't play well.
Well, yeah,
That's the problem.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I do. Like
Yeah.
like it was a noble attempt.
I mean, it's kind of like, Simon's Quest compared to the first Castlevania. It was a noble attempt, but the first Castlevania, why'd you change the formula? Like,
Well, look, I'm even fine with them changing up the formula. That's okay, Like that's how Zelda survived, from going from top down to 3D
Yeah.
to now more open world. That's great. And also you have different types of Zelda games. Doing the Hyrule Warriors
well,
That's
yeah,
cool.
and doing the settings, and then like the style and the setting, like Wind Waker compared to,
yeah, swings are fine. It's just like the game is not fucking fun. Not for me, at least.
well, anyway, what I was saying was Tears of the Kingdom sucked me in when I played it with Biz, and I'm not even like a big Zelda fan, and it sucked me in. Like I had complaints only because I've played really good open world games, and I know Wind Waker. I know Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is Nintendo's first open world games in general,
Yeah.
and it's the first time Zelda's been open world. So like I would get frustrated because I'm like, why are they doing it like this? They should have done it like this. It's like because I've played, so many open world games, and glitches aside in Elder Scrolls games, a lot of the stuff they do in the open world setting is really awesome. You know what I mean? And it's like I was like, why didn't they take this out of Skyrim or Oblivion's book? Why didn't they take this out of blah blah blah's book? You know what I'm saying? Like take tips from other games for the aspects of theirs. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have successful open world games already around, it's not wrong to take tips from what they've been doing and use it in yours. Because some of the stuff was like,
your own spin on it.
yeah. But the one thing that really bothered me the most about those games was the destructible weapons. Now, I know why they did it. It was just so you would try all the varieties,
I hate that in
not just
general,
stick with
mostly.
one weapon the whole game.
Okay,
But-
speaking of which, it is annoying. I find that frustrating. But how'd you feel about it when it was in Oblivion?
That's what I was getting to. It isn't like Oblivion's, where in Oblivion you buy the repair hammers, your shit doesn't break after hitting something 4 times. Like you'll get like, that's what I thought the balance on the weapons was annoying, like how fast I can understand whacking something with a stick. Yeah, 3 or 4 times it might break on somebody's head because you're hitting a fucking goblin in the face with it. But like you could get like a soldier sword or whatever that was not in great shape, and you still would like explode after like.
Well, what they could have done was, and I know they probably didn't want to, but to make variety for your link, they could have had some sort of version of a skill tree, like where, soldier or spear, you know what I mean, where certain weapons would last longer depending on what you leveled up because you were more skilled with them than others.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Well, Silent Hill.
Oblivion, I thought they balanced it well with when you had damage to all your stuff. You could go through 2 whole dungeons, big dungeons, before you had to repair everything. Yeah, some of it might be pretty wore out if you got hit a lot or something, but
Okay.
it wouldn't be broken.
Are
You know,
Are you gonna play the Oblivion remaster?
I really, really, really want to, but this is the thing.
You played too much of it already.
That game will devour my soul.
Yes.
That game in particular, like
You can't do it.
it'll devour my soul.
How
And I'm playing Sons of the Forest right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it.
if you play it again, are you gonna miss the nightmare faces? Are you gonna be happy with the graphic update?
Yeah, yeah,
faces?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
still
Are you gonna miss-
nightmarish. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the character creation
Yeah.
nightmares. That's people doing it on purpose.
Well,
Yeah.
just,
But I've
just
seen
in,
the-
in
I've seen the
general, the
NPCs.
NPCs look.
I
No,
thought
NPCs
everybody that I've seen,
weirdly.
The NPCs look like
Emperor Septim looks awesome.
The eyes are realistic. The
the NPCs remind me more of an updated Skyrim.
yeah.
You know,
There's that uncanny like ugh.
Uncanny Valley. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
but
because it's not on the level of like photorealistic people
Yeah.
like a lot of games. Like
but
even
it
even
doesn't
Red
look
Dead
like
Redemption
everybody
2
has the
looks
Zika
great.
virus like it used to.
Yeah.
True. But I mean that was what oh man. On the fucking wood elves and their weird little pudgy faces, like I loved that. Like they were freaks. I loved them.
Do you think they'll still do the charisma mini game the same way, where like you're testing, intimidate?
All that's
charm,
supposed to be the same, I'm pretty sure.
But do you remember
For your
they had-
speechcraft and stuff.
Yeah, but you could do it. You could figure out. What
Yeah, their
words
facial
based on their
expressions.
mouths. Like, oh, here's the thin line. That's neutral.
I,
Here's the
I hope
frowny
that's the
face.
same. It's like spins, and you have to like kind of judge how you do it. Like you might
What was the
because of like the bar how it's filled up with like 70 or 20%. You remember, and like the little wedges, and when they turn, and you'd have to like, oh, I'm gonna have to say something he doesn't like to get this to go here, spin to here that it's something he likes. It's
What
like
was
you're
the little wood elf freak's name? The one quest where he's having to spy on people. What was that guy's name?
was that guy a wood elf or a dark elf? He was a wood
He
elf.
was a wood elf. I
Yeah,
remember
he
that.
was. It was in Skingrad. Oh, what was his name?
And like,
He was like super paranoid.
of
He
all
thought
the-
everybody
of
was
all the
against him
people-
and stuff.
Of all the people that had like the weirdo freak face from Oblivion, that's the one I wish would just stay the same. In fact, I wish he was the only character rendered in
And he had the big
classic Oblivion.
Yeah, and he had the big weird mane hair like
Yeah,
combed
I
back.
thought he had like a little top knot thing.
No, he was the one. He was the one that had the big mane like hair that went like kind of. They got a big tall forehead and a big widow's peak, and it's like combed back.
Of all the NPC quest givers, that's the one I remember the most. And then I also remember the
Tutius Sextius.
that was my favorite one, Tutius Sextius.
Tutius Sextius.
I get it, the sixth son. I understand Roman bullshit, but Sextius is such a dumb name.
Skyrim is also a game I had to quit playing in my 20s.
I wish you had stopped that sentence, but Skyrim is also a game.
That's great.
Skyrim. It's also a game
It's also a game.
that people play.
Think about that.
There's my 2 cents. Y'all go. Y'all continue.
But why'd you have to, did you ever
No, that's one of the first games really I had to stop playing because it consumed me. I was in my 20s.
Well, it's different if
Did you
it
ever finish it though?
did it.
No.
Did you? Okay.
this day.
Did it consume you, or was it just the only game you played for a long time?
No, it consumed me. Like one more quest.
I'll go to bed after one more quest.
Oh,
and
it's
then,
daylight.
and then by
One
the
more quest. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I
okay.
gotta go to work like now.
yeah, that's that
That's
is
an
kind of
addiction.
consuming. I didn't get that bad. It wasn't that, and I would stay up late playing it and things, but
And I was
It
like
wasn't that
hacking the
bad.
game, like figured out how to stack armor on top of each other.
oh, you did the werewolf
Invincible?
thing?
No, it's some kind of like when you get put in jail.
Yeah, it's but part of it has to be. I think it has to do with the werewolf quest. I'm pretty sure it ties into that.
I don't think I was. I think it was a
The
vampire,
guy-
actually.
But it's a quest that has to do with a guy who's a werewolf. Is what I'm saying,
Oh,
and it's in
I
it's in
remember that.
Falkreath.
I quit.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Cold turkey.
But cold turkey. But yeah, I didn't get
I
that
actually
far
haven't played it
into
again,
like
honestly.
I was obsessed with it, but I didn't go to the point where I worked or played until like I just couldn't stop, and then I had to go to work with no sleep. But it is the only game I played for like
Oh no.
long time. Like my Oblivion, I don't remember how many hours, but I remember the last time I played Oblivion, and I had more than one character, and just made random silly characters many times. But I remember looking at my main character I played the most. I had almost 4,000 saves. And I don't know how many hours in just that character.
See, I would eventually just start deleting a lot because I knew it took a lot of space. So I would start deleting, and I'd have like maybe 3.
Oh, yeah.
Besides my auto saves,
Yeah,
I'd have like 3 saves maybe. Per
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling how many characters I deleted too. Like test characters, trying out different mixes of skills and
All
stuff.
right, so
But-
I know you played the fuck out of Skyrim. I did too, but you also had a lot of character styles that you like to play. Like you would play thieves, you'd play wizards, you'd play warriors. I do not care because of the dragons. I did not care for magic in Skyrim because it just
Oh, I mean,
dragons were annoying as hell to try to like use a mage build on.
just like
Because of
any Elder
I can't remember
Scrolls
what
game,
race I played,
a
or what
mage
it looked
build
like, but
is
it's
like
bow guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
an archer and stealth. Yeah, I mean that's what I usually played the most.
And one of the greatest gaming moments I've had in my life is Brotherhood of the Shadow.
Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Sorry.
It's the Dark Brotherhood, you
quit.
piece
Oh,
of shit.
I'm coming back.
You-
No, you gotta assassinate
No,
some
you
guy.
can get it on your refrigerator at this point, so yeah, you can totally play Skyrim at any
And
point.
Yeah.
I had a perfect headshot on this guy, and I completed the quest, like assassinating this dude. And when you go up to him, the arrow was still in the head, and his slumped over body was on a chair on a PS3. It was amazing.
yeah, and that game ran like shit on PS3.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it was my second character.
That's what I started out playing it on.
One of my favorite memories, and it's not even the best thing that I ever did, but my second character, I wanted him to romance Mjol, the lioness. And there's always that one guy that's like following her around. And like
Yeah.
even like when your character marries that character, that guy will try to show up.
I thought he stopped following her when you got married to her.
I don't know, dude.
Maybe he might not.
Maybe eventually with an update or something, But I remember they had added the unarmed kill cams
Mm-hmm.
in at this point, and I can't remember if I got the kill cam where he holds the guy down and just I sent her to our
Do
house,
something?
and the guy was following her. But so she couldn't have the guy, my dude, beat him with his fist. I can't remember if it was he holds him down and continuously punches him in the face to murder
With his
him,
gauntlet.
or I think I actually got the kill cam where he gives him the Death Valley driver.
Oh, yeah, because you're unarmed and yeah.
Just kill cam murders.
There's
the
also like, have you seen the one? If you have somebody who's skilled in hand to hand and you do like a kill cam, especially if you're a Khajiit, because they start out with more attack for their claws, more unarmed. Which I feel like unarmed was pretty lacking in Skyrim compared to earlier Elder Scrolls, obviously, because they dumbed down all that stuff and combined a bunch of shit. But they put the unarmed stuff into heavy armor with your gauntlets.
Yeah.
But
Well, it was dumbed down.
but you would grab them. Do you ever see the one where they come up behind him and he wraps his legs around them and puts them like in a headlock from behind, so their face is like face up in their armpit, and he goes like this, and he does like the stretch and like breaks their neck.
That's cool. I haven't seen that though.
But so some of those are cool, but that was my biggest complaint about going into Skyrim, and which Bethesda has done now with their games since Skyrim. Like that's when they started the kind of dumbing down for new players and stuff, with the leveling systems and all that stuff. Like they took out mysticism, they combined mysticism, they took it out completely and combined some of the stuff from mysticism into illusion, magic. They took out unarmed.
The biggest downgrade was losing unarmed, because I remember in Oblivion, as you leveled that up, you'd get like palm strikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Power strikes. But
Yeah, it's like the challenge mode. Like, can you beat this?
Yeah, but like we were saying about the
you
magic
could
stuff,
level it.
it's
If you wanted
kind
to
of
play like a monk or something, or just like a pugilist. It was hard to
Yeah.
do. You'd have to essentially smith it, because you could put that on your gauntlets. And
you had to take heavy armor if you wanted to be unarmed.
Sniff it on Earth.
And but what were you saying about mages? Like Elder Scrolls it's always been kind of tough to play a mage class, especially a pure mage.
Yeah, but it makes it not as fun, man. Like, because that's what I was gonna. Either of y'all play Avowed?
No, I've seen stuff like the people doing like the comparison videos, like taking Oblivion and comparing it to Avowed. and like the stuff that you can do in Oblivion that you can't do in Avowed. And it's like kind of saying, why does a 2006 game have more?
Yeah, okay, but fuck them. Honestly, fuck those people.
Yeah.
They can go fuck themselves. I don't give a shit. Oh, well, you can't do this. You can't do. It's not fucking Oblivion. That's not the point.
I mean, what I've seen of it, it looks cool.
It's a fun game, dude. But what I was gonna say about Avowed that I really liked is, I actually had fun playing a wizard. I played a mage. I mean, I wasn't a pure mage, and the leveling system is pretty streamlined because there's about 4 skill trees you can use, which are ranger, mage, warrior. Actually, there's just 3 skill trees, but you can mix and match them. It was fun.
So it's kind of like in the way of, did you ever play Dragon's Dogma?
Yeah, a little
It's like
bit.
started out and you just have like a warrior, archer type assassin kind of range, or you could go a ranger. You could split after a while from those classes and go different ways, but
Well, it was.
but it
fun,
starts
man,
with a base 3.
Is what I'm getting at, because the spells felt like they worked in any sort of situation. You know what I mean? You didn't feel like it felt balanced. You know what I mean? If you're gonna criticize it in any way, shape, or form, I would say a stealth build sucks in that. Like stealth.
Well, that's whack.
Stealth needs to be worked on for the sequel. But magic was fun, dude. I pretty much every time would either I would have a grimoire in one hand for my spells, and I would either have a sword or a pistol. Like, I didn't take, even though it's on the mage tree, I didn't take any wand upgrades. It was just magic and gun. So it was fun being gun wizard. And I had a magical gun anyway that shot lightning bullets, so I didn't care.
You say that, it just reminds me. I just got a game a while back that me and Biz still need to play, and it's called Wizard with a Gun.
That's pretty much what I was.
That's who he was.
I was wizard with a gun or wizard with a flaming sword. And dude, like, the other thing
That's
about
the
it
sequel.
is, yeah. The other thing that's great about it, man, is it is. Well, before I get into what's great, it's a little limiting as far as character creation, because you have to be a godlike because of the way the story, like.
Yeah,
the way
you're
the
like
story
a
is.
emissary, or you work for the government or something, don't you?
Yeah, you have to be from. Fuck, I can't even remember the name of the city now, but you have to be from a certain town or a certain city.
Avowed City. There you go. Just go with that for now.
Well, it's killing me because I'm actually playing the original games now, like the ones that are closer to Baldur's Gate. I'm playing the first Pillars of Eternity because I like this game so much, but it plays more like Baldur's Gate.
Wait,
See, I
Avowed is
can't.
tied into something else?
Yeah, Avowed is technically a sequel to Pillars of
Oh,
Eternity.
I
1 and
forgot
2.
about that.
Yeah,
Because they talked about that when they was first started making it, and then I never heard anything else about
well,
that.
I got into the universe and the lore based on that. But essentially, yeah, you're an emissary from the city I can't remember right now. You pick a background, which affects your starting stats.
Yeah.
You have to be a godlike, and instead, like, there are many races, like in Pillars of Eternity. There's dwarves, there's elves, there's humans, there's Rawatai, Orlans.
What are Rawatwai? Rawatwai.
Rawatai are like a lizard-looking sort
Ah,
of people.
okay, so like Argonians or something.
No, they look like a cross between Argonians and orcs.
Huh.
They have more of a human.
That's gross.
They have more of a human-like face, but they've got like lizard skin.
Mm.
Like they're cool, but
I like lizard skin.
It sucks that you couldn't be one, but because of the makeup of the town, like the empire that you're from is made up essentially of elves and humans. Any of the races can be a godlike because that's just they're made in the image of certain gods. And they take on their features without giving anything away. You have very mushroom-like features. The character creation's like I said, a little limited because you're either an elf or a human godlike. But what makes the game really fun is the choices that you have to make that affect the story as you go and affect the ending. By Act 3, they give you a choice. You have a binary choice of doing one thing or the other, and either way, it kind of fucking sucks, man. Like the choice you have to make. None of them are good. I like that even if you want to play a purely good character, you are going to have to make some difficult choices in the game.
Yeah.
Like some bad choices.
I like that kind of stuff in a game.
But that's what's fun. That's the thing that's good. That's cool about this game. The story, it's not quite open world. There's about I'd call it 4 acts. You can travel back and forth between the 4 places as you unlock them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only so many quests in each area.
Right.
But like I said, it's really fun, and the choices you have to make, and like there's several different ways to do certain side quests. Like there's replay value in like, well, I did this side quest this way, and now I want to do it this way. And there's some quests are secret, like in Act 2, there's a thing you may not uncover that will affect the story going forward if you don't figure it out, or if you don't figure it out in time, or if you do it too late. And I know I'm being vague, but that's so I don't spoil anything. But it's very fun, man. I very much enjoyed it. There's a lot of things that can be improved upon, but as far as like a first shot,
yeah,
this is really good.
Yeah, well, I don't. It wasn't like they were saying like on some of those videos that Oblivion was like a better game overall.
Oh,
they were just
Oblivion
showing
is a better game overall.
Okay, well, they were just showing stuff kind of like they didn't understand why. There was like showing one part like it was saying like showing like say you attack somebody in the middle of town. How the guards come at you and stuff, and then they were showing like how the guards are standing there, and you like attack somebody, and like the guards just are like.
Well, you can attack somebody in the middle of town. That's one of the things. You can't like really just kill NPCs.
Yeah, and like he was swinging at one of the guards or something, and like, but I mean, it's not the same game.
It's not. That's what I'm getting at, but it's fun for different reasons.
Right.
Isn't the combat supposed to be more Dark Souls than what it used to be? That's what I heard.
What?
In some, I don't know, video.
In what game?
Oblivion Remastered is supposed to be the combat. It's supposed to be more Dark Souls influenced than.
I don't see how you would do that.
I don't know. I haven't seen it really, but I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I know that the guys who made it, the company, I can't remember their name right now. It starts with a V. That did the remaster of Oblivion. They took the bones, like they talk about the skeleton of Oblivion, and its engine and everything is in there.
Oh, you're in Adiran. You're the envoy
Patrick
from
Stewart's in
Adir.
there.
That's the name of the town. It's been bugging me.
But they kind of just built around the bones of the original Oblivion.
Yeah.
And added some things. And a lot of people think it's kind of like it's cool that they did a remaster of it. But a lot of people think it's also kind of like a test for fans to see what they like and dislike in this remaster, so they know that's the kind of direction they'll go in 6.
And they can fine tune 6.
Yeah, but
that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I think it's awesome they did a remaster too, because if this is really popular and a lot of people like it,
maybe they'll remaster Morrowind.
Maybe the games will go back to more of a system like Oblivion, which I mean, because they even dumbed down some of the stuff from Morrowind to Oblivion. Like,
yeah, I get it,
but some of it was better.
There's some of the stuff I liked better in Skyrim as opposed to like, I did like some of the skill tree stuff. I liked the way smithing worked better, like because you could actually like craft the weapons and stuff. It wasn't just like, oh look, my hammer and my weapon back together.
There was
some
some
hack
for
blacksmithing
smithing
if
too.
I remember right. In Oblivion, it was just being able to fix your weapons better.
What? Now that you're making me think about it, yeah, pretty much. You just got better weapons, and and it was based around you had a repair skill, and if you had 10 repair hammers, if your skill sucked,
you'd break the hammers.
You'd
quick.
break the hammers and like fuck the hammers up, and you might only get one fix out of it out of 10 hammers.
I don't think it's that Oblivion was purely better in the system and Skyrim was purely worse. I feel like there's a way to there's a hybridization that balance
like,
you could strike.
I would love to keep where you could like upgrade normal ass weapons. Like, you could max out if you were really badass with the smithing skill, keep smithing, and Yeah, you'd still be able to do that. Like
Like, you can
take an
sep-
iron sword to the max of what it can be.
You can separate
all
the
that.
schools again. Like you don't have to combine the schools and dumb that down of magic, you know. But they do need to take a page out of Avowed's book and make magic fun.
Well, I mean,
Magic-
I don't dislike the magic. It's just it's challenging as fuck. Playing a mage is challenging, especially like a pure mage, because you get bum rushed in like a dungeon by a bunch of enemies or something. Unless you've got good AOE spells and like
The
you have
spells
it
just
takes a
don't
lot
feel
more.
fun, man.
It takes a lot more planning, and a lot of times like playing a mage like in especially Oblivion, it's hard. But like once you get to a point where you're powerful and you can get like fingers in the mountain and shit like that.
Well, see, I felt
But-
but that's the thing. I felt like playing a mage in Oblivion was more fun than playing one in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because again, and mostly that had to do
I
with
agree with
the
that.
main enemy. Like most of your spells don't shoot up in the sky very well. That was the problem. I have a flying enemy.
Oh, in Skyrim, yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem. I have a flying enemy and I have nothing to knock it out of the sky with other than my dragon shout.
Yeah.
You know, and then there
And
was
some of the big spells in Skyrim were pretty cool, like the master spells. But a lot of them took a lot of time too. You like stand there and do this like motions of like building up. So you had to be
Yeah,
strategic.
I don't have time to do Tai Chi while a dragon's breathing fire at me.
Yeah, that kind of yeah.
There's videos of a guy beating Kingsfield, at least the U.S. versions, like 1 through 4, magic only, which is kind of insane.
Oh man, I'd love to
A lot
play
of planning.
Kingsfield again.
Oh god,
It'd be
I
fucking
had the
a
first
bitch,
one and
but
it disappeared. I did beat that.
somebody still. Sorry, is playing this game and I just watched it.
Could have said something sooner.
What were we saying? Oh, you were talking about
Kingsfield.
speed run, or was it just a guy playing pure mage?
Pure mage.
I didn't even know. I didn't even
Which
remember
takes,
you
like,
could do a
you
pure
know,
mage
You
in
can't
that
even
game.
defeat an enemy for a while.
Oh, here, you guys want to hear a quick review of the new Captain America movie?
Sure.
Sure.
Meh.
Oh,
Eh.
awesome.
It was, I guess, to be a little more in depth. It was the cinematic equivalent to a bunt.
In baseball?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, sounds good.
I mean,
It wasn't even on my radar to go watch it. I knew it was out, but so
the
now it
biggest-
makes me not want to watch it even more.
the biggest negative, like, I mean, look, man, there's been worse movies definitely that they've made, but the biggest negative would probably be the look of the leader. The leader didn't have his head was like, it looked like it had a bunch of boils on it instead of being like large.
Just big,
Yeah, it should have just been huge, and he should
bulbous,
have looked more like a cone head.
like the head.
Yeah, it should have.
Remember that show?
That was the problem. You've been waiting over a decade for the return, like, because it was in the Edward Norton movie that the leader was teased, and then that's what they do. That was awful. The best thing about it was, man, who's the actor that plays Sam Wilson, the new Captain America?
Sam Wilson. Oh, I don't.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
He was the best part about it. They did a really good job of showing like what the difference between Steve Rogers Captain America and Sam Wilson Captain America is, and what they both mean. You know, that was really cool. The characterization of Captain America, of Falcon as Captain America, great.
was done well.
That was done well. They did a really good job with that. They did a really good job with things like that, but the movie itself, like the plotting, just wasn't that great. They gave you too much. You are like if they had never shown you Red Hulk in the previews, that would have made the movie 1,000 times better.
He's in the poster.
Yeah, they gave you too much with that. That would have been a cool twist had they never said anything about it. I mean, you know, if you'd read comics, you would have seen it coming a mile away, but at the same time, if you hadn't, that would have been cool for people. But, you know, anyway, that's all on Captain America. Again, Marvel's equivalent to a bunt.
Nice. Oh,
Swing and a miss.
I love mimics. even though they're annoying in games. But yeah, Michael. Speaking of like old games and shit like that, I just watched a guy doing a speed run. It was Claire A run, like A Quest A, whatever in Resident Evil 2, the original. No damage.
I love Resident Evil. Oh yeah, I watch no damage runs all the time.
It was like no hit, no damage. I don't know what they mean by no damage, no hit run.
If that was my job, of not getting
This
hit
dude-
Resident Evil, I would do it. But
It was. You know how fast his run was?
work.
23 minutes.
The original?
Yes, Resident Evil
PS1?
2.
Yeah.
Yes, Claire A. And he said, and he had another one I haven't watched yet. The guy's name is. Anybody wants to check him out? Give him something. Give him some views.
you heard about
Super Sonics. And it's like with an X. He has another one I haven't watched yet, but he set the world record on Claire B. No damage run. In 22 minutes and something, I think. Maybe low 23 minutes, something like that. But that was pretty entertaining to watch. Certain games, I don't give a shit about watching speed runs. I could care less. Like, I don't want to watch Super Mario 64 speed run. I don't want to watch. There's a lot of them. Like, I don't want to watch any Legend of Zelda speed run really, except for maybe Link to the Past. And then, but Resident Evil speed runs are fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what's great
just-
about Resident Evil.
it's wild.
You play it at first playthrough for the story and experience, and then you play it to speedrun.
Yeah, they've always had it.
Better.
Like they've always had like the time rewards.
Yeah.
Like the first one, you got the.
You always unlock like infinite ammo, infinite rocket launcher, and
I thought the first one, the infinite rocket launcher, came if you beat it in under a certain amount of time.
The very first one, yeah, I did it with a Jill.
I did too. I thought it was like
As
you
a
had to beat it
child.
in under like 2 hours.
3
or
hours.
under 3 hours, yeah.
But back then,
So they've kind of always had like a replay of see how fast you can get through and you get cool stuff.
So you're a big Godzilla fan, man. Have you heard of all of these crazy comic book Godzilla crossovers they've been doing for about a year and a half now?
No, I mean I probably should, but I don't.
So they've done, and I haven't read any of these, but you're probably about to buy a bunch of trades, dude. Godzilla versus the Power Rangers, Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe, Godzilla versus the Avengers, Godzilla versus Spider-Man, Godzilla versus X-Men.
What the hell?
Let's see, Godzilla versus the Justice League.
Is this all because of like the anniversary?
I think they did a Godzilla versus Superman. They're getting ready to do Godzilla versus the Hulk.
That's awesome.
There
Does
might
Godzilla
be-
win in all these?
I haven't read them, dude. I don't know. I think there's getting ready to be a Godzilla versus Hulk. Or no, I did say Hulk. But yeah,
But what about a Godzilla versus Hulk?
yeah. What about a Godzilla versus a Red Hulk?
That'd be cool. Any of these would be fun.
What are they gonna do? Godzilla versus Cthulhu.
I have that shirt.
And I'm sorry, I think Cthulhu wins that.
you have a shirt of Godzilla versus Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Oh, Godzilla versus Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's done like a comic book cover and like.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like the Power Rangers would be pretty cool though. That would actually.
A Zord. Yeah, there's Zords fighting
Yeah,
him,
the Dragon Zord versus Godzilla.
which is pretty much kind of based off him.
I don't know. The idea of Godzilla versus the Hulk, because I think we've talked about that before, way before they ever announced the comic, but it feels like they would just make each other stronger.
Yeah.
It feels like Godzilla breathing his plasma breath, which is probably like, toxic,
Yeah.
onto the Hulk would just make the Hulk stronger.
The only
and the
t-
Hulk punching Godzilla would
Yeah.
just make Godzilla stronger.
Because it's like the only thing I've ever. It's like pretty much it's like Godzilla can't die and can't really be beaten.
Neither can
and
the
like-
Hulk at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And but like the only time I've ever seen, and it might be that really, if you think about it, might be the same way with the Hulk. The only time I've seen Godzilla die is when one of the movies is his own body killed him. He killed himself pretty much. The one where he overheats and it's like kind of like the like Godzilla, the young Godzilla takes over.
Dude,
takes his spot, but he's like going nuclear. Have you seen that? It's
yeah.
versus Destroyer, I think.
I feel like the only way Godzilla versus Hulk should end is they just keep hitting each other and becoming more and more powerful until the Earth itself blows apart and they both die. That feels like
They're just floating in space fighting, and that's how it ends.
either that. No, actually, what should happen is it ends that way, but they're both frozen in space, like together, like one punch it, like Hulk punching him in the mouth or whatever, and then thousands of years, and they crash into another planet, and it just begins again.
Yeah, and like the story ends with them just like starting fighting again.
And I'm glad I haven't read these because I like the idea of wild speculation. But what ought to happen in a Godzilla versus Superman comic is eventually Titano, the super ape, should show up, which is just King Kong with kryptonite lasers that he can fire from his eyes, and they need to fight because then it's just King Kong.
He has to save Superman.
Yeah, with his kryptonite laser vision.
Yeah, Godzilla has to save Superman from him. That would be hilarious. Well, we've covered a lot of stuff, I feel. What else we got?
Oh, dude, I mean, I can bring up the shroom trip, or I can save that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I can save that for next time.
No. Hey, bring this in real close, and I want you to fill me in hard.
All right.
Oh God, that was a good one. Ooh.
I'll spit on it this time. He just stuck it in like at the beginning of this show. But nah, dude. So yeah, I was telling y'all I only wanted to get I only wanted an eighth, but the person that I got the stuff from is really bad.
Oh, before we
fractions.
start, Jake is telling us the story about his most recent shroom trip. There we go. Go.
Yeah, I only wanted an eighth. Ended up getting a quarter, but I'm not stupid, so I eyeballed the bag and just took a handful that looked like half the bag. I didn't weigh it. I had digital scales, but I was being lazy. My wife was in the room with me, and I told her, she's like, "Should you be watching wrestling?" I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's whatever." And then shrooms are more intense for me than LSD. It's just way worse usually, but I usually have a good time.
Yeah.
But it probably only took 20, maybe 30 minutes for that to start kicking in. I turned to my wife, I go, "You need to go." I told her she needs to go to the room. And so I'm watching SmackDown. Two luchadors are wrestling. I think it was
Oh God.
Ray Phoenix and Umberto from the LWO. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. It's fine at first, like okay, they both become really shiny. At first, like okay, that's fine. They're glistening,
fine.
whatever. And then eventually, they sort of disappear. And like since they're luchadors, they're dressed in like bright colors, man. Eventually, it's the colors of their ring gear that are fighting. I am not seeing two dudes wrestle. I am seeing the concept of colors grapple and just start, beating the shit out of each other. And it's like,
I'm trying to picture this.
and it gets intense.
Yeah,
and I keep trying to watch for a little
It's like
bit.
Sesame Street.
Keep trying to
80s.
watch it for a little bit. Like no, this trip was a roller coaster, dude. It was really good, then really bad, then pretty good again. But and I haven't even got to the bad stuff. So eventually, like, there's something in my brain, like I get all delusional because, I'm tripping balls. I was like, man, no, like, wrestling's like life, man. Like, it's all just a fucking clown show, man. Like, I'm starting to think weird stuff. And I hit that stage of, like, euphoria, and I'm, like, just giggling, dude. I'm just, like, I'm laughing so hard that I'm, like, tears just
So you're not
streaming.
even paying attention to the
not
wrestling
like,
anymore.
Yeah. And I'm like, I usually melt when I trip. I just sort of like sink into a couch, and I'm sitting there, and I throw a blanket on because I got real fucking cold out of nowhere, and I'm just like huddling in a blanket. I'm like laughing my ass off, tears streaming down my face. Like Amy comes to check on me for a little bit, and she's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." I'm cold, and then she ends up throwing another blanket on me. My dog comes in there and then just sits on me. And I'm like, I'm sitting there for a while. Then the bad stuff starts to happen.
Uh-oh.
She goes away.
Did the dog go away?
Yeah,
I think the dog,
didn't
goes
help?
away. I've got the lights
Oh.
off. That's when I see this face in the corner of the room, and I've seen it before when I trip. You know, like a weird sort of demonic face that's sort of inhuman. It almost looks like a carved mask, like some sort of spidery looking demon. And I've seen that before when I trip, but usually I'm tripping with a bunch of people.
Does it look like Darth Maul?
No.
Okay.
But what's weird is like usually when you trip with a bunch of people, it feels like sometimes I have this image in my head when I'm tripping with like 2 or 3 other people. It feels like cavemen or primitive man around a fire. You know, like there's safety, there's a village, you're all tripping together, you're all on the same wavelength, and I'm usually able to rationalize I'm on a drug. Everything's gonna be fine. Like, and I've always been able to maintain, you know. So, it also, like, again, it feels like there's strength in numbers. It feels like you're around a nice fire. Well, this felt like I had lit the fire, but I'm alone. I'm in a village, and it's like, I need to go walk into the dark, terrible, terrifying forest. And so basically, I hear in my mind, like, you fucked up. And then I start feeling weird. And I start looking around. Time, like, loses all meaning. I don't realize how I go from the couch to the chair in the side of the room. I don't remember turning on a light. I remember wrestling got too intense. I was like, I can't focus on this. I need to turn it off. And it went to whatever default channel we've got on our, digital TV, whatever fucking free internet dumb shit's on. I'm pretty sure we were on the news, like some sort of news thing.
No.
Well, no, I'm not paying attention to the news. I'm not focusing on TV. But then I look at it, and I see like a crawl. And the crawl on the news is saying shit that I know it's not actually saying. Because it's like, it's basically saying shit about me.
Oh.
And I don't remember the specifics, but also, like, I remember, like, the newscasters, their faces, like, distorting, like, parts of their face sort of, like, blacking out, like, blotting out, and then talking directly to me. Like, oh, he fucked up. Oh. And then it was like there were multiple entities besides that weird demon that I've seen before. And they were talking about me, but through the newscasters, like they weren't showing themselves. I was like, he's not very clever, is he? He's stuck. And then like they were saying things like commiserating about what they wanted to do to me. And it got really fucking weird. And then I'm sitting there like, oh shit. Like, and I know Amy came in again. And later she told me this is the part that scared her, the only part that made her afraid while I was tripping. She's like, you looked at me like you didn't know me. Because I recognized her, but her face was doing the weird shit too. Like blanking out. And it's like, it was like things were projecting off of her.
Are you talking about like she was just like blurring, or was it doing what's his name, like the polka dot or whatever, the dot? That comic book character who is the holes.
Yeah, but it was almost like those like globules of that were popping off of her, and then it was like black globules and like weird smoky stuff was coming off of her, and she was talking to me and trying to be comforting, but also at the same time, like I felt like ill intent from other things. And I was like, and then I was playing hacky sack with my sanity. That's essentially what I do with this stuff. And I was losing. So
you can't. It was just the hacky sack was gone.
Yeah, pretty much, man. So like I was sitting there, and it's like she was being nice, and I was like, oh no, she's real, but they're also talking through her, and I need to like be wary, and I also don't need to do anything fucked up. Yeah, and then and I'm gonna forget half the like you guys are only gonna get probably about 2/3 of what happened because some of it like comes back, and I just skip over it.
Oh yeah,
But
I understand.
I do remember I remember going into the bedroom and I was like, I need to try to sleep. I know I can't because I've tripped before, but I need to calm the fuck down. So Amy's in bed. I cuddle up to her and shit, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to sleep. The spider thing is sort of back. It almost looks like a fucking weird anime sort of character. It's got no real eyes. It's almost got looks like it frowns, like 4 to 6 of them, but its face sort of shifts, and it does feel very spider-like because there's a maze and webs in my mind, sort of. And again, time time has lost meaning, and I'm sitting there and 5-10 minutes will pass. It feels like it's been 3 days. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there and it's like, oh, you're going to sleep, and then it keeps telling me, I'm trying to do my mantra, like I'm on a drug, I'm good, and it's like, no, this is it now. You broke your brain. You finally did it. You're stuck. And the more I would try to, it was like.
Oh, it was telling you that?
Yeah, no, it was telling me that. And the more I would try to reason out, the deeper into it I would get. It was like it was like being stuck in a Chinese finger trap. The more you try to pull away with reason, the deeper you go, which again went more to the web analogy. And it was telling me, you're done. And you're stuck in this pattern. You're going to be like that. You're going to think you're in this room forever. And you're constantly going to try to go to sleep, and you'll never sleep. This is it. You're you were with me now, and you were done. It's like,
whoa.
You're essentially going to be sitting there shaking in a room. Eventually, your reality is going to be you're in a padded cell, but you're going to think you're in this room forever, trying to get up and go to sleep. You think patterns exist. They don't fucking exist. This is the pattern now. That's essentially what it's telling me. And then, it's scaring the shit out of me. And I am doing everything I can, trying to plead and get out of it, because I think I'm talking to this entity in my brain. I'm in a prison of my own mind, dude. It was like being trapped in some weird Lovecraft story and talking to an uncaring Lovecraftian being, but kind of like Nyarlathotep, like a trickster. Not like so uncaring it's like Azathoth or Cthulhu and just, you're just going to go insane, but a thing that is tormenting you and delights in your torment. And then it's trying to trick me. It's like, all reality's fake. You project it. You know what I mean? You project it and you're unmaking. And then it's trying to tell me people have gone back in time and fucked with reality, and it's unraveling, and you're noticing it right now.
I don't want to be stuck in any type of H.P. Lovecraft story.
Well, yeah, and that's what it says. You're noticing it right now. All of reality is going to go away, and you're going to, and then I do eventually feel like reality just sort of melts, and I'm desperately trying to put it back together, come back to my reality, and then all of a sudden, and I'm just, fucking sitting there shaking. I know that's what's going on, but again, I'm seeing this shit in my mind. I no longer am I stuck in that weird web world. I'm in a void at some point. Then there's light. Then there's almost the Big Bang sort of happens again, and thousands upon thousands of years pass, millions of years pass. And then it's like that meme. It's like, oh, I'm a lizard who was dreaming he was a man. I'm licking my own eyeball and shit. I feel like I'm on a rock, but I know and that's all I can see.
Out in the sun.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a rock, but I know Amy's laying next to me, and I'm the rock must be Amy. Yeah. Because that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. But no, I'm a lizard. And then slowly, this weird, then I finally get the thing that you always get when you're tripping. Oh, everything's love, man. Everything's blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. And I feel like this golden sort of entity lifts me up, and it's just, those wooden dolls that you pose when you're sculpting clay or whatever.
Yeah.
It's shaped like that, but it's all in solid gold. And then it makes me feel better. And it's no, that was a trickster, blah blah blah. You need to ignore that. And then it, the whole where you always get to everything's love, man. Everything's gonna be okay. That's all that matters. It doesn't, you escape the bullshit. All the stuff that was bogging you down, that melted away. I felt good again. And then but time still had no meaning. Like I'm able to see, and I I understand reality again. It's around me. Like I'm out of the presence. Like the thing talked to me. It's like everything's gonna be all right, and blah blah blah. You're good, and I won't get into some of the other stuff with the like because that was trippy too. But time still has no meaning. I'm like looking. It feels like it's had to have been an hour, right? 5 minutes. You know, like that shit's going on, and then I start hyperfixating. It's like I need to go fucking finish wrestling, man. Like what happened? And then like,
I gotta watch.
I gotta look at my phone too. It's like I hope I didn't fucking text anybody weird shit or make phone calls because again, I know there's a chunk of time I kind of lost. But I start hyperfixating on that, and then dude, like I go to take a piss first. Like I wake up, go to take a piss, and then like I look, like I see my face, and it's still got like it's all distorted. The way, like facial hair is great when you're tripping, dude, because it always looks like that little magnet dude with the hair, you know, or like you've drawn it on, like it's weird. It's like pencil lines all over your face. So I see that, and like I catch myself, I look like a homeless fucking wizard. I feel like I fought an entity that I shouldn't have fought, like on the astral plane or something, and I got away. And I've got this like crazed fucking like I'm not peeking anymore, but I'm still fucking tripping balls. But I'm aware enough to know like I look fucking insane. Like I look like a wizard from a fantasy story that got thrown into the real world and is not adjusting well.
Nice.
Yeah, and then like you know I catch a. I'm pissing. I got my dick in my hand. It's like, and then like it looks like some sort of weird fucking mushroom that like fairies and fucking like gnomes would live in.
Like hang out on,
yeah,
lay on.
That's what it looks like. It look like this weird meadow. I'm pissing. I'm like, this is cool, I guess.
To be fair, I think that's sober a lot. Like, a little gnarled
Fair.
fucking.
Yeah, but you don't actually see them like dancing around, you know. And then
It would have been cool if you would have actually saw like a gnome laying on the tip of your dick.
then yeah, so I go finish wrestling.
He's like, "Hey, what's up?" Waving at you.
I go finish wrestling because it's like reality's not going to make sense until I finish SmackDown. So I go turn that back on. And then, like, you know, it was recorded, so I go back to the spot. I was like, okay, cool. And then I needed like comfort food. I was like, what's going to make me feel like good? And so I had peacock, and I was like, well, fuck, you know, I guess.
You ate a peacock?
I wish. I bet they're delicious, but anyway,
Can you do that? Is
I
that
had
legal?
peacock, so I watched the SNL 50th anniversary, and then like the Shane Gillis hosted one and the Jack Black hosted one. I was up to like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was like those made me feel better, and then I was also discovered to my surprise that oh yeah, SNL's good again. It had sucked pretty hard for about 2 or 3 years with like I don't know, maybe 3 or 5 with like you know. There's an episode here or there that was pretty good. You know what I mean? But I was like, damn, this is solid now.
Yeah, Shane Gillis one's pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing on there that I've seen like that stayed pretty consistent, it was the Weekend Update was always.
I was surprised it had gotten solid, but yeah, like I you know came out of it. It was pretty good. There was
it's a great way to stay in shape.
I probably lost weight, but there was a point where I thought like I don't need to do shrooms again. That thing's gonna come after me. So it got to the point where like, maybe I've gotten all I need to out of shrooms. But also like you know as I've gotten some distance, it's been 2 or 3.
Well, all I can say is you've definitely made me not want to do them.
Well, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, man. I'd probably do it again.
Maybe it's not the high,
Like,
but the entity you found along
I like
the way.
acid, dude. Acid and shrooms, and I'm like, everyone should try it at least once. Like, it's usually pretty good for you. That's
I was
the
just talking
worst
about wanting
fucking
to do
trip I've ever had.
DMT. I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, dude, I do want to try DMT. Like the 2 things the few things I've never gotten to do. I've never gotten to do ayahuasca. I want to try that. I want to try DMT, and I want to try peyote. But acid and shrooms.
Talking about that.
I've always heard peyote trips can be pretty.
Honestly, just don't do. The only thing you don't need to do hallucinogen wise is research chemicals, man.
Yeah.
Research chemicals are not a good time.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but I've just always heard peyote is like quite intense.
And I also want to do it as like mental health, or
Well, yeah,
just
well,
you could microdose and stuff.
beneficial instead of just trying to get high. I want to like.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I do it,
Change
even though
something.
like I know I'm not doing it clinically and not
Well, I mean, they've
not
been-
responsibly as far as for my mental health, but
I
the
think
first-
they've been I think they've been experimenting with like shrooms and LSD, like microdosing for like PTSD veterans and stuff like that,
No,
and
that's
it helps
cool.
them a lot. Like,
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just more of a fan of macro dosing.
Ketamine does something like that, right?
Oh, ketamine's great, dude. I fucking love ketamine.
ketamine's like, yeah, a lot of people use it for.
Snorting.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
Elon Musk.
Oh, fuck him. That's such a bad example for that shit.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying some people overdo it, and he's a good example
No, that's pretty great, dude. Like,
because it makes you feel like a god, and that dude does not need to be walking around and
No,
fucking
well,
with our government and acting like a god, thinking he's a
He don't need
god.
to be there. The only thing that ever fucked me up on ketamine, man, like made me feel bad, and it doesn't last very long. Like usually it's if you do a little bump of ketamine, like it's about 20, 30 minutes that you feel that way. But the only time it ever fucked me up is I was doing it over at a buddy's house, and we're every 30, 40 minutes we were doing like a little bump and getting fucked up. But my buddy put a VR helmet on me where you're like, doing
shit.
stuff and you're playing with colors and shit, and that fucked me up after he took it off because like then reality did feel and was like fucking simulation, everything's fucking fake. That's how I felt for about 30 minutes.
Did you go into a K hole? Feel like an
Dude,
A hole?
I've been in a K hole before.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had some really weird, scary, recurring like nightmares
Yeah.
over the years that I feel like if I took a hallucinogen, it would probably bring those entities that were in those recurring nightmares back.
Well, dude, usually what you got to do, and this is what, and it's always worked. Like I said, I did shrooms alone, and I think I wasn't in the right headspace when I did it because I was very stressed out and frustrated. And that's,
Yeah.
I'm usually against that. I tell everybody you want to try to get in as good of a mood as possible. You want somebody to be tripping with you the first time you ever do it, and then you want it to be somebody that you get along with. You need to turn off your phone. You need to tell people you're not going to be available. Like, hey, my phone's going to be off. I'm going to be somewhere. And do it at your house. Put on, like, don't watch, like, don't watch, like, horror films or anything like that. Like, honestly, put on chill music, watch fractal videos or something. And it's usually a pretty good time. And it's helped my obsessive compulsive disorder quite a bit. It didn't cure it or anything, but I don't usually after I do that, my OCD, like it's not as intense. It helps with my depression. It's helped me out a lot doing those things over the years, but I only ever trip 2 or 3 times a year, and then sometimes I'll go like a whole year without doing it. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do shit like that, you don't want to completely get fried. So like once every 6 months is fine, unless you're someplace where it's legal and you can do it clinically, and you're gonna do it with a therapist. That's fine. But also like it's cool to party occasionally.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like if you started talking about the bad stuff, like this
We just
one.
fight for our right.
That one particular when I was talking about those nightmares, there's one particular entity that popped up in a recurring nightmare I had that I would definitely not. I don't ever want to see again, like ever.
Well, can you describe it or?
Well, I mean, I did that painting in there one night when me and Michael still lived together. I did a painting of it when Michael was playing some music. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was playing some music, chilling in the living room, and I painted that picture of that thing while he was doing the music. And I did that kind of like as a therapeutic thing because it was like this weird white ghostly figure. It had a body, like it wasn't like mist or anything, but it was like bone white. You know what I mean? Like, and it didn't have any kind of facial features. It just had like its eyes were just like black holes. It didn't have a mouth or really anything, but it had this black hair that would like ran all the way down its back almost to the floor or more, and it had this, and it was like wielding some kind of weird like blade, but like it popped up in a couple different dreams, and I would have them like recurring. One of them I didn't even see him, but I remember it's like in the dream I knew it was that thing, even though I didn't see it, and it was like controlling my body and doing this weird stuff. But like, yeah, I don't want to see like that one where I saw it was like crazy. It was like friends were in the living room. I'll just like preface quickly. Friends were in the living room and stuff, and like we were all hanging out. And it was like some house I'd never seen in my life. It had this long where you walk around the corner and go in the kitchen. It was like one of those narrow kitchens, like in those older houses, and like it comes out on another room on the other side. And like, but I turn around and like all of a sudden everybody's gone, and it's more dim in the house. Yeah. And when I turn around in the kitchen, it's standing there, and like just looking at me. And I don't really remember it saying anything to me, but I was just like frozen, and it had this weird like crazy dagger type thing that was like super ornate and like had all this crazy handle with all these weird jewels and shit on it and stuff, and it just like moves forward at me, and like I can't move or stop it, and like it just like slowly just like stabs me with this knife into my, and I just like look down and just watch it put this like blade into me. And then after and then like I just look back up at it, and it's just like, like no features. It's just like staring at me with these black hole eyes and this crazy hair and shit. And then all of a sudden everything goes back to normal, and everybody's there in the room again. And that's one I had for like years and years.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me.
Or at least a year I had it recurring.
I'm gonna have to take a good hard look at this painting. I'm sure
but
I've seen it.
I don't want to see that thing again. And I feel like just the way my mind is, I would probably.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. If you trip with somebody, usually it's not bad because somebody's on the same wavelength, and it also reinforces that I'm on a drug sort of deal.
Yeah.
And the worst thing, and it's not even the worst thing, like eventually, like ego death really isn't that bad typically. But one of I guess the most negative feeling that I would consistently get when tripping, and it's only negative for like a brief period, is it's like, I guess, around when you're peaking, and like you hit like a euphoric stage, and like right before that it's all love sort of feeling kicks in. There's a part where it's almost like you see you see yourself like you see yourself like your personality or your soul or whatever you want to call it, like completely naked, like the best parts and the worst parts of it. And you're able to accept it. You know what I mean? Like even the most negative, terrible parts about yourself, you're able to like reconcile those with the good parts and realize that you're not a terrible person despite even the worst aspects of yourself. Like no one's perfect. You can work on those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like you're able to see yourself as a whole. You know what I mean?
Well, I hear like, when I hear people talk about like DMT and like that, like, that one's like everybody I've heard like on whatever shows, podcasts, whatever, talking about doing it. It's an extreme like ego destroyer. Like it strips you down to, like, I mean,
I hear a lot of people talk about it like it's the damn Star Trek: The Next Generation episode where Picard lives a whole other life and then learns how to, play that fucking flute.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Except, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he lives all the way until he's old, like working in the orchard and shit.
Yeah, I hear it's almost like you start a different life. You may be completely different, but
wasn't that a Q episode?
No, I think some weird, like, if I remember right, they passed like some weird asteroid or something, and
Oh, I thought he figures out that Q's fucking with him.
Yeah, it could be that too, though.
Sure about that comedian took salvia on a podcast, and he recalls like he like lived underwater and had a whole life.
See, I thought that was a DMT thing.
It was salvia.
Salvia?
Salvia.
Why did it affect him like that?
I don't know. It's like, I mean, years and years in like the span of seconds. So, do I want to try that? I don't know.
Well, we all came from the ocean.
I'm not worried about not coming back. I'm worried about like just like not being able to handle it and dying or something.
Not being able to handle dying. What?
Well,
just like,
too,
just
like,
be too much.
It's not based on anything. It's all anecdotal. but it's held true for everyone I've ever known. Either you do better on acid or you do better on shrooms. One is usually more intense for you than the other. Acid, I'm a lot more mellow on. For example, my buddy Beef, that you all know, he's also a lot better on acid because he won't do shrooms again because when he did shrooms,
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
he got mad at our buddy he was tripping with, and I wasn't there this time. Apparently, stripped naked, ran a few miles, and was picked up by the cops.
Oh yeah, I would never do it again either.
So like again, and this past time, it's like what, I understand.
I've
why
done
that
something
happened, 'cause
similar with alcohol that it didn't stop me from alcohol.
But you got to find again, just do something small. Like that's how you find out that's how you find out what you're more tolerant to. Like if you're gonna do acid and it's paper, just do a hit at first. You know what I mean? See how you feel. And I wouldn't exceed 2 hits your first trip. If you're gonna do shroom, and the thing that's fucked up with shrooms, to be honest with you, is like an eighth is sort of the standard dose, but I've done more, I've done less, I've done, you know what I mean? And you don't know what you're getting. Unless it's like those candy bars that are measured, that are legal, like you pretty much know exactly what you're getting. They're measured.
Yeah, I feel like they could be
Yeah,
they
they're
could be
measuring
weak,
that.
they could be strong. Like I'm talking about when you're just taking
Oh
regular.
yeah, but they measure the candy bars, and like I've done those a few times, but I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like with shrooms, like I can take the exact same amount somebody else gives me, like that I took last time, but somebody else gives me different ones, and they could be way less intense or way more intense. Because I've told you about the Galactus thing.
Yeah.
That was that was fun as hell, but that was, that wasn't very many shrooms that did that.
Well, it was very interesting.
Yeah, we can end it.
Yeah,
there.
I was
There's other
just
shit.
captivated the whole
Not
freaking time.
just drug stuff, but like there's other things
Yeah.
we can talk about.
Well, I mean, this isn't like really stand up to as interesting as your story, but recently I found Count of Monte Cristo and purchased it. I love this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you like this movie? You enjoy this film?
I don't think I've ever watched it.
It's great. It's Jim Caviezel and
Oh,
Guy
Jesus.
Pearce.
For sizzle.
Jim Caviezel for sizzle. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love that story in general.
Yeah, it's a good story.
So yeah, you did shrooms and had some
We're
kind
all
of
keep
crazy
spinning.
experience. And I bought the Count of Monte Cristo on DVD.
Which is its own journey,
Yeah,
cinematically.
Michael, how you doing over there?
I've just been in the trees, pretty much.
Yeah,
What kind of trees?
the thick ones.
Like a good dogwood.
Yeah, you can say that.
You can say that.
He's been in an alpine forest. Speaking of Sons of the Forest, back to video games.
Yeah.
It's a good segue.
I'm loving that game. I love the first one. Me and Michael
Mac
played
11?
the shit out of the first one, The Forest, and
Okay. So
it's the sequel to The Forest, and it's called Sons of the Forest. And in this one, the first one you were a guy who was just on a plane, and anyway, the little
a
bit of
dumbass on
backstory.
a
The
plane.
planes are in the island. It's an island, and there's this facility on it underground, and they're doing all this fucking weird shit. And they use this weird wave or some kind of signal and wave, and it causes aircrafts to like crash. They're doing it intentionally, and but there's all these fucking weird mutant, fucking weird tribalistic, like they're pretty much created, living on the island, and there's a lot of them are cannibalistic and
Is
shit.
it the same island?
Yeah, it's the same island, but you're like a soldier. You're, for some reason, you don't really know why you're headed there, but you're like, it seems like you're investigating something, been sent to like investigate. And there's something about like, you find some paperwork, something about like an anomaly. It's like could be a dimensional shift. It says on the paperwork, so it's all this weird shit.
Yeah.
But it's just fun as fuck because it's like all this survival, and then you're interacting with all these different types of, which there's different ones, and they act differently and have their own kind of thing they do, and it's like it's just a fun game. If you pick it up, we can play together, Jake.
Oh, we've got a cross-play Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Me and Biz can finally get into that, play with you.
Yeah, you could.
And then
That would be
we can
awesome.
play our halfling that we made and never really did anything with.
We could, if you wanted to, we could record that for a stream or something.
Yeah.
Because it'd be fun to just fuck around, You'll definitely want to run through it. Single player as well, because the companion characters have cool stories. But if we're doing multiplayer and taking up 3 of the 4 slots, we're not really going to experience those companion stories.
Yeah.
Which will still be fun. It's still going to be a fun game, but there's a lot of cool like subplot points with other characters. Oh man, we got a random message for that Facebook, or not for Facebook, but a random message for that YouTube channel I used to do. Apparently, I'm going to make one more video. Some random Polish dude gave the channel a request over like Facebook Messenger, asking me to like review Reading Rainbow, like do a Reading Rainbow retrospective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so eventually I'm doing that. Just for no reason.
Nice.
And, I'll probably just end that video.
When did you like
No,
get it when he
recent.
sent it?
It was like a month ago that this guy sent that, and we responded to it, or Beef responded to it because he like runs the little page or whatever there.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he hadn't done it in like 5 or 6 years, but I'll ask him.
Well, I mean, the guy was enjoying the stuff.
I guess, man.
I mean, we could always reboot it, and or if you and Beef want to keep doing it, we can try to do it together or whatever. That'd be fun too. People will know what we're talking about. It's Jake's channel, The Steaming Pile.
Yeah,
and you covered a lot of. I mean, it's fun.
It was
I liked it.
Yeah, it was just camera awkward.
What-
dude. Couldn't get in, because it feels weird not having an audience. Like, it's easier to talk to people. Like,
Yeah, it's
just
speaking
talking
to
a
the
machine
camera.
is just weird.
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably be. It's probably for anybody. It's getting used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I probably could have done it eventually once.
You did a live stream involving like olive oil, I guess, or something.
The live
That was
streams
pretty
would just
fun.
get- the live streams would just get weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the live streams.
Yeah. Good times.
What the? Oh man, I was watching one time, and I don't even remember what you were doing. What was wrong with me? Was I drunk or something?
Oh, you were drunk for one because you were responding. I remember you being drunk for one of the live streams.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, like now that you're talking about it, I kind of remember, but I don't remember anything that happened. But I do just remember talking to you when you were doing it. Like I'd totally forgotten.
I forgot you were drunk until you said that. Yeah, I forgot.
I had to have been because I don't remember anything really about it. Which I feel like I would since I was interacting. You know what I mean? I was like part of it, really, because I was interacting with everybody. But
Yeah.
that's what happens, you know.
I guess before we wrap up, I did come up with something because I wanted to get y'all to see. I thought it'd be decent discussion. Ideas for like if you dropped characters into random universes from different things, like what's their chance of survival? I want to hear your guys' opinion. Like, for instance, what if you dropped Mario into Doom?
I have seen that.
How do you think he would do?
He can kill a baron of hell with like 64 jumps to the head. I've seen it. Like they've done that somehow. There's a video.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, he'd probably do all right.
So yeah.
All right.
Because I feel like something, I don't know how you would do it and how it would work, really. But I feel like his abilities would somehow roll over in a way,
Well, let's say you give him like a bag full of some of his power ups. How do they transfer over? Like, how do they work pretty well? Like, if you give him the Mario cape, the Super Mario cape, that probably does a lot. That probably blocks hellfire or something.
yeah.
The only thing that probably sucks and doesn't do anything for him would be the fire flower. I feel like that's not going to do much against demons.
I mean, it would probably make his fireballs more like the imps'
Definitely
fireballs.
not a Keiko demon.
But
the ice flower.
That's the meatball for everybody.
a Keiko demon, yeah, I love that thing. They actually limited run did a recent this insane Doom collector's thing. And I think it's got like all the old games and maybe Doom 3 included. But it comes with all these collectibles. You get a Keiko demon, or Keiko, however you say it.
Keiko demon.
Keiko demon, yeah, it reminds you of like a beholder kind of. And like the statue of him and like all these collectibles. It's like so much shit. It cost like the pre-order was already up. I was just looking at the stuff, but like it was like $600. There was so much stuff they included with it. It was like it was cool though. Like somebody is a Doom super fan. It's a pretty badass like collectible.
No,
Pretty
dude,
up
you know
your
what would be
ass.
really cool now that I'm thinking about Mario in Doom? A doomed out Bowser.
That'd be cool.
Like Bowser just
He'd like
demonic doom.
like a weird cyber demon Bowser type thing. That'd
All
be
right,
cool.
what about dropping Dutch from Predator in the Gears of War world?
I think it'd do all right as long as he got like he used their weapons and their body armors and stuff. He'd kick some ass.
All right, let's see.
Toe Jam and Earl in
All right.
Resident Evil. They are dead.
I don't know, man. Do they get to keep cartoon physics?
Yeah, do they get to keep their
If
cartoon
they keep their
physics and shit?
cartoon physics, man, they may be gods.
They're slow as hell though.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
Who's killing them then?
Zombies, whatever.
nah, I don't think they'd die.
Tyrant can slide all the way across whatever.
Dude, but if they have their cartoon physics, and they have a bunch of presents, like they have a bunch of gifts, and they got like fucking rocket shoes and Icarus wings and shit.
Actually,
Like,
no, think
Yeah,
about
man.
it. Here's what
Hey,
happens.
they can fly pretty much over everything. So
They get infected with the T virus and still have cartoon physics.
Oh,
and
God.
Destroy the Resident Evil world because no one can take down T virus.
infected Toe Jam and Earl, yeah.
And then you find out it's the TJ virus, TJE virus. It mutates into that.
That'd be pretty
somebody
cool.
make this game, please.
Toe Jam and Earl Resident Evil.
No, where they get infected and all
They
that
get infected,
jinx
and
it.
you get to destroy the world as them.
Yeah.
I'd play it.
I would
Hell
too.
yeah.
I'd play the hell out of it.
Dropping the Punisher into the Mad Max world.
Yeah.
He would assimilate into that quite quickly. I feel.
Yeah. It's like it's
He
almost
would probably
perfect
be
for
like
him.
humongous.
Yeah. Or,
He'd probably be ruling everything.
well, that's the thing. Does he take on like a Mad Max sort of role and kill the warlords, or
Yeah, he
Does
would,
he become
but
a
he would
warlord?
but he would be like he would definitely be like a leader. He'd be perfect to be a leader in that type of setting, don't you think?
Yeah, that's like
Oh,
his.
yeah, I mean,
Like
he could be.
he wouldn't be a
what he's built
bad
for.
guy or anything, but I mean he'd be a good leader. That'd be like a good world. He'd fit in.
All right, what if you drop the Ninja Turtles into the Evil Dead cabin?
Shit.
They would fuck all that shit up. Who would be the first turtle if you were to lose a turtle, just one? Who would be the one you'd lose to the, Deadites?
I feel like it's going to be Donatello because if they
Really?
don't play the thing, no, if they don't have the tape recorder there, he's going to find the book and translate it.
Yeah.
He's going to read it, so he'll be the first one possessed.
Holy
Okay.
shit! Possessed Ninja Turtles.
And then they have to kill him.
This is epic fight.
Who would kill him? Raphael probably. He would probably take the
I see a
Probably.
side directly through the throat.
to be the one to have to do it. He would probably do it, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, well, like who all's showing up? We got the classic Ninja Turtles are showing up. Splinter may show up. Casey Jones in April. Casey Jones is going to end up replacing his hand with a hockey stick.
A whole hockey stick?
Yeah. Lose his arm, have a hockey stick for an arm. No, actually, you know what he's going to do? He's going to replace his whole arm with a pitching machine.
That would be
And
cool.
start feeding balls into it. Who survives? Like who? If there's one, who becomes the Ash character? And it can't be Casey Jones because it's too on the nose.
I don't know. That's hard.
Leo. Nardo.
I feel like it's either going to be Raphael or possibly Michelangelo,
Turd.
and only Michelangelo because of the last Ronin
Power.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's. I didn't want to say that because I feel like it's plagiarism.
It's not really because we're
Aren't
talking
they
about them
making a movie of that?
in the
They
Evil
are,
Dead
and it's
and a
supposedly
game,
video game.
open world game, isn't it?
Oh,
Or like
fuck.
kind of open
Man,
world, like
imagine
Arkham
that.
Asylum.
Splinter would end up being like the
Splinter would probably be the one to live.
Cellar Witch. He'd be Henrietta.
You don't think
Yeah.
Splinter would be the one to live?
He might be the one to live, but I feel like for
This
pacing,
guy's such control over his mind,
Yeah,
man.
that's true. Actually, Splinter would end up being
Oh,
the Ash character. He'd have to kill everyone.
God, possessed Shredder.
That'd be cool. Deadite.
Beat the fuck out of.
Go-
What was he called? Mutant Shredder? And the second
Super
one?
Shredder.
Super
Super
Shredder.
Shredder.
There you go.
Oh, dude.
I
Deadite-
replaced that. That was like
Deadite
regular
Vanilla
Shredder
Ice.
in my toy collection.
Whoa, we're Vanilla going
The
on to
wrinkled
Vanilla
ball
Ice. huh?
sack of the original. Yeah.
Deadite Vanilla Ice.
If you had to choose one from these two movies that you had to watch for the rest of your life, daily, for the rest of your life,
Once
Every
daily.
day.
yes, at least once daily.
Anything would drive me crazy.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, yeah, but or yeah, it's the only movie you could ever watch again. You can watch it at least once daily, and it
At
came. It
least
was
once.
between.
More if you want.
Let's see. And it comes down to between James Cameron's fully uncut Titanic with commentary,
Okay.
um, or
Just talking about Titanic.
Cool as Ice starring Vanilla Ice.
Oh my God.
I'm watching Cool as
Cool as
Ice.
ice, shorter.
It's shorter, and I don't have to listen to James Cameron like drone on about the fucking Titanic. I get it. The boat sinks, dude.
Yeah. I was just talking to, I don't know what we're talking about at work, but somebody just learned that it was a fictionalized story about a true event. I thought all of it was true.
Oh my God,
And
that's
I
America.
I think
This is America.
like I ruined that whole thing by telling her that.
So like
Wait, Leonardo DiCaprio didn't actually
she
die?
just just falls over.
Billy Zane
dies.
is a real person?
I'm not Billy Zane, man. That's one of my favorite lines in anything. I'm not gonna stand between love. I'm not Billy Zane, man.
All right, here's a character swap thing and not about survivability. If you drop Judge Dredd into the RoboCop universe, who can shoot off more rapist peckers? RoboCop or Judge Dredd?
Probably Judge Dredd.
Probably, but RoboCop is the
RoboCop
original.
he functions with too much logic. He's not just gonna walk around like by the law and logic. He's not just gonna shoot everybody in the dick. He only did that because that was the easiest way to save that woman and stop that perpetrator. Whereas Judge Dredd will just shoot people in the dick. Right? Don't you agree?
Yeah, but it would probably have to be by the rule book. Like it'd have to be by the book if like the punishment is being shot in the dick. That's what would hold him.
Yeah,
back.
but is what I'm saying makes sense though. Like RoboCop, he operates under more constraints
RoboCop?
because of his programming.
Yeah.
Let's do Sonic in Final Fantasy 3.
Final Fantasy 3. Okay, Sonic would do pretty well there.
I don't know.
He'd be a good team member.
Sonic RPG would be cool.
Sonic's got like godlike powers at this point.
He does have godlike powers. He's always pretty much he's
I
a
think-
Super Saiyan.
Dude, honestly, I'm pretty sure Sonic would have some dumb shit. He would be like a secret character in Final Fantasy, and it'd be turn-based, but he'd get like 3 turns in one because of his speed.
Get it fast.
Oh yeah, his like
ability, impatient.
yeah, when they do the bar to fill up when their turn comes, like
Yeah.
his would be like insane. Plus, you think of like Sonic with already what he can do, and then you give him where he can learn like to use espers and
Yeah.
magic and shit. Like he'd be
These
fat.
are like
That'd be
chaos
awesome.
emeralds.
He'd be like what's his name? What was the ninja's name that you could get, but you only had that one chance to get him?
Mm-hmm.
Shadow, wasn't it?
I think.
No, that's another Sonic character. Jeez,
That
man.
don't bring him up.
Well,
Because
don't
I'll
you
start
like
saying
Sonic with a gun.
I'll start saying stuff, and then weird,
Yeah,
crazy
bad
Sonic fans
attitude.
might come and try to attack me, and let's not go into that.
Well, you got any character swaps? You got somebody you'd like to see dropped in a universe? See how they do.
Yeah, let me think. Let's see. How about
Laura Croft in Big Booty Bitches 3.
what?
Well, sorry.
That's not even a real thing.
You're just making movies.
Lara Croft is
I'm making my.
Big Booty
making my
Bitches 3. That's not a movie.
I'm sure it is.
Or a
to be
world.
honest.
Well, it's not a world
Hey,
setting.
there's 3 of them. It's a cinematic universe. Big Booty Bitches 3 answers the questions that were left unanswered in Big Booty Bitches 1 and 2.
Oh, and probably wraps it all up, right?
No, I mean, there's
Wraps
probably
the whole
like
story up.
4 to 5
It
more
makes
movies.
Big Booty Bitches 1 look like Big Booty Bitches 2.
Well, I mean, now I lost all train of thought what I was trying to come up with. Michael's bullshit. Just kidding. I love you. I'm sorry. Sorry for yelling.
Damn. I was asking the important questions. Somebody else wants to.
I'm just like, come with another one. I'll keep thinking.
I'm sure Michael's got one in the chamber. If not, I got a few.
Go for it. Go for it, Jake.
Yeah.
All right, what about Captain America in Halo?
Fun.
Steve Rogers.
Looks like the new
He'd
Doom
be fine
we
in
just
that
saw.
too. Yeah, it'd be like the new Doom.
Yeah.
Dark Ages.
Would he do better than? Would he do
You'd be like
better than
first
Master
person
Chief?
just throwing the shield.
Would he do better? I mean, they're kind of like comparable. If you really think about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Master Chief is even like he's like huge, but like a big ass dude. But like, I think he'd be fine.
Does
Would he
rip
use
and
the
tear?
guns? Or would he only use his shield?
Well, he'd use the guns. He used guns in World War II.
That is true. I think he'd do fine. He would fare just as well probably as Master Chief because they're both super soldiers. You know. That's a good one though. I like that one.
Yeah, no.
What about Doctor Do? Not Doctor Do.
Did you say Doctor Doom? Doctor Doolittle?
No, I was about to say
Doolittle?
Doctor Doolittle, but I meant what's his face?
It's Doctor Doom, but he can talk to animals.
And then he hammers them. No, I don't want to think about that.
How about Mr. Magoo,
All right.
the cartoon version, that type of, or even the Leslie Nielsen Mr. Magoo
No, let's go with cartoon.
in
Is it a video game character? Is it?
Mr. Magoo? You've never seen Mr. Magoo?
Yeah, I know what Mr. Magoo is, but is it a video game character? I thought we were doing video game characters.
no, it was
No,
just
no,
all
anything is
characters.
just
Anything
any
ever-
Any universe.
He was
all
doing
the
like
universe.
Judge Dredd and RoboCop. Like
It's video game characters.
Well, they've been in video games.
they've been in video games, but they're not.
okay, proceed. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
God damn it!
Doctor Doom or Doctor Doolittle? Where are we doing?
No,
Mr. Magoo.
Mr.
Oh,
Magoo.
I can't see
And,
you. I'm blind.
Shadow over Innsmouth.
Of what?
Oh, dude, he's gonna bumblefuck his way out of there. He's not even gonna be horrified.
He won't even know what's going
Yeah,
on
and he'll
because he can barely see him, right?
Yeah, he'll probably eat one of the people, thinking that he's the horror in that, dude. Because this fishy squid people think they're gonna kill this guy, and he's oh, madam, and then accidentally eating one of them. Oh, this is great calamari, and he's eating like one of the villagers' faces.
Yeah.
Like he is the Doom that came to like Innsmouth.
That's true. I
Mr.
didn't-
Magoo is the shadow over Innsmouth at that point.
The Magoo over Innsmouth. Yeah. Okay.
They
That
stop
works.
worshiping Dagon, and it's Dagu, and he's their deity now.
I like it.
That's how that one goes.
Dagu. Magoo.
Let's do.
Magon. Magoon.
Let's do. Axel. Streets of Rage.
All right.
In Shadow of the Colossus.
Damn.
I
think-
I'm just trying to figure out how that would, because I can only think
fucking
I
awesome.
can only think of the game mechanics for both.
Yeah, but then like too, would he still be trying to save that dude's girl?
He's just
Because, I mean,
ripping
that's a
ass.
very personal story for the Wanderer. You know what I mean?
Don't give a shit.
You think he would just go fuck up the Colossus for no reason?
Yeah.
Just-
But would he even be able to
Politics
beat
or
him
whatever
without the sword?
Streets of Rage's about.
yeah, with his fist, he'd punch their weak spots
Yeah, I guess he could just punch him in the weak spots.
and then knock pieces of them off for like
I'm just trying to think of, like, take it seriously,
Just
because
unlock 'em.
the sword is kind of like the only thing that can, like, break the seal in the Colossi, like. Well, no, it's his sword. It's not a special sword, is it? He just stabs him with his own sword, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it wasn't a special sword. I was thinking it was a sword, like a special sword, but it's not. It's just his weapon. So, yeah, okay. He could burning upper, or in this case, burning downwards or whatever he has to do.
Does he kill all the colossi?
Probably, yeah. I mean, easily. I mean, compare him to the Wanderer.
Fair.
I mean, the Wanderer is obviously awesome,
Hey, okay. Here's one.
but
It's fairly similar to
fire comes out of Axel's fists.
It's
I
fairly
mean,
similar to their home universe, but what if you take the heroes from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs with their Cadillacs, the human characters, and you drop them in Jurassic Park?
oh
They
damn!
get to tour the park instead of in those shitty
In
things
their
on the train,
Cadillac?
in their Cadillacs, and then the power goes out.
Well, it's just the one dude with the Cadillac, isn't
I
it?
thought there was a few.
I don't know.
Either way, how do they do?
So it's the main character, the sexy dark-haired lady,
yeah,
and who was the other guy?
I don't know the other guy.
Does he even need to be there? I think they'd fare fine. I mean, they're already used to being around dinosaurs, and they would just drive their Cadillac around and make out and underneath
Just
the
another day in the
brachiosaur.
Cadillac.
And I think it would be pleasant. They would just thrive on the island until somebody came in and were like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And then they shut it down, and then they're lost forever because they're used to living in a wasteland, or a post-apocalyptic world with dinosaurs. And then what are they going to do now?
I don't know. Well, maybe the main
In a
maybe the main character.
post-apocalyptic world with dinosaurs.
That's not the theme for real.
Maybe the
what
main
it is.
character. Maybe the main character goes insane because Jeff Goldblum like snakes the dark-haired chick.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even think about like the interactions of the other characters and stuff. I don't remember the personalities of the characters from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs well
don't
enough
either.
to give you a good answer. I don't feel like I'm the right person to be asking this one.
Fair.
You got another one?
I'm thinking.
How about let me think here. This is getting what about Bilbo Baggins
All right.
in Willow?
Oh, he's got that on lock, dude.
You think he could become a powerful sorcerer?
I don't think he even has to become a sorcerer. I just think he dude, Bill,
How's he going to beat Bavmorda?
guile and cunning.
I guess so. Does he have the ring and Sting?
Who cares? Like he can give him Sting. He doesn't need the ring. Challenge him to some riddles.
It's true. Bavmorda was a crazy bitch, though, bro.
Yeah, but she'll kill Frodo. She ain't killing.
Frodo
Bilbo.
ain't there.
Yeah, she'll kill Frodo. If you drop Frodo, Frodo dies. Frodo's a bitch compared to Bilbo.
I mean, Frodo played his part.
He did, but come on.
Sam was the real hero of the whole trilogy, of course. Everyone knows. Gamgee's the man. But, I mean, Frodo played his part. He was the ring bearer.
All right.
Bilbo would win, you think, huh?
I think so.
But you got to think about. Yeah, I mean, he could figure it out for sure. I'm just trying to think about like what transpired and he's in place of Willow and what transpired in the story. He still has Mad Mardigan with him, which is a plus because Mad Mardigan's one of the coolest characters.
I think they'd probably get along a little bit better. I mean, depending on where Bilbo's at in his journey. If this is like, dude, obviously, if this
Would
is,
Bilbo
if
be?
this is post Hobbit, Bilbo. If this is Bilbo right after the Hobbit, Bilbo's
Yeah.
just.
You think he would do as good a job protecting Elora Danan as Willow? Because Willow really cared about that little girl. You don't think so, Biz?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because he's not fatherly.
Because he's not fatherly. Bilbo's not fatherly.
Well, he was fatherly to Frodo.
Yeah, but I mean, not like a little baby.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I feel like he doesn't have experience with babies.
he doesn't have any. No, Bilbo has no experience with babies. He's only got experience with dwarves and wizards, and he doesn't even understand wizards.
You know who would? You know who could protect if they became as obsessed with him as the ring? Who could protect Laura Danon? Gollum.
Oh fuck yeah! As long as he didn't eat her,
Obviously, Sam.
Yeah, but
he would eat
He
her.
becomes as attached to her as the ring.
Sam
That's his
Gamgee
precious.
would do fine in
Yeah,
Willow.
that's true. Honestly, he might be the best Hobbit for the job.
Gollum would do okay. Gollum would be able to do it, but I seriously would fear that he might be tempted to eat the baby.
I would be more afraid, like if he's as attached to the baby as the ring.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I
would-
misunderstood.
I think
Oh hell
the
yeah.
problem would be feeding the baby questionable things like raw fish.
Yeah, and giving up the
But-
baby when he has to
Yeah.
at the end. The baby now goes to Terraslene to be raised by the queen and
That's true,
king.
but he would just fall in a pit of lava, and then the baby would be able to be raised.
They would somebody would probably have to kill him or something, or they'd have to let him stay with
Yeah.
the baby and be like its weird little companion for the rest of, the rest of her days.
Weird songs.
Kratos in Mario.
Oh my god,
Kratos Mario.
everything would be dead.
That'd be awesome.
Especially if it was pre the most recent God of War
It's
Kratos
2D.
when he's completely fucking consumed with rage. He would everything would be just slaughtered for sure.
Even
I'm just picturing him now like one of the boss fights with the fucking chains with the fucking blades of what were they called? His blades with the chains on them.
the Blades of Chaos. Something
Yeah,
like
something like that. Using those on fucking Bowser, fighting him, tearing him into pieces and shit. That's what he would do. He wouldn't give a, especially that
Cut his head
version
off.
when he's not learned to control and stop living so fucking control his rage and concentrate it and all that stuff like he is in the newer stuff.
Macho Man Randy Savage in Nightmare on Elm Street. Not in the Freddy role, not haunting your dreams, but being menaced by Freddy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that'd be wild. Freddy might be afraid of his dreams.
It's so
He might not be able to go in and
so much lard.
control the setting
Jim.
and stuff. He might go into Macho Man's brain and he has to be in whatever he's dreaming, and because it's so fucking weird and wild, and he figures out that he gets a little bit more than he bargained for,
He can't handle the madness.
and Macho Man just it's the madness for sure, dude. It's just a
Macho Man is good for you.
oh yeah, that just reminded me of Macho Dragon mod.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest mods of all time in any game ever.
A foreign object on your hand.
I just love that beginning. It was echoing through the.
Oh, dude, he just comes off the top rope with a double axe handle, and his hands become axes, and he kills Freddy. He would somehow have Freddy powers in his own brain while fighting Freddy.
This has been an interesting discussion.
That's what I'm saying. I thought this was good. We've got to. If we come up with more character swaps, we need to talk about this more.
I mean,
often.
there's definitely people out there that would be as interested in this as us, right?
There's got to be, dude.
Pretty cool.
I mean, if people like listening to just some fucking nerds hanging out, just talking about everything under the sun, then we're providing quality material right now, for real.
Well, I mean, we are I guess we can talk about it a little bit. We are going to try to debut new segments, I guess, next few episodes or something, different things.
Yeah, we were thinking about spinning off, and whether it's just going to be on here or it'll be separate episodes, specifically for that, if we want to continue doing it. We haven't really decided, right? But we were thought about maybe diving into just news. You know what I mean? Just covering current events, and then that might be a possibility, and then not just like our funny story news, and then maybe some other stuff, like what?
Oh, I blanked out because I had another stupid character. Like, dude, it's fun. So, Wizard of Oz. Post Wizard of Oz, Cowardly Lion gets his courage, but it is it's the Cowardly Lion from the original Wizard of Oz movie,
Okay.
and he takes the place of the bear in the Revenant. And he fights Leonardo DiCaprio. He says, "I'm gonna eat you." Put him up.
That'd be funny. That was just I just want to see it.
Who wins?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's still able to? Who wins?
Leonardo
Leonardo DiCaprio from the Revenant or
Well,
the Cowardly Lion?
Leonardo DiCaprio, he kills that bear, right?
Yeah, but does he kill the Cowardly Lion?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you-
like, immediately.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because if he could take that, yeah, he's gonna kill the
But
coward.
you're
It's just gonna
you're
be more
sleeping on the lion.
entertaining.
He's still got the power of a lion.
Yeah.
Even though this is a
Courage
man in
now.
a lion suit, we're supposed to
I mean,
believe
that was
this is a lion.
But there was a real life grizzly bear with grizzly
No, he's
grizzly
got the
bear
courage to like,
powers.
eat the hell out of him. You know?
Huh?
Dude,
I
honestly,
mean, the lion might win.
Dude, I really want to see him violently eat Leonardo DiCaprio, but still
is
be in the
more-
lion.
Because I feel like it would be pretty
is more
similar.
satisfying.
I just felt like it would probably be a similar outcome. It would just be more entertaining than horrifying. Because
I think it would be
I think
horrifying
I
and
probably
entertaining,
told
dude.
you this before, but like that is the last way I would ever choose to die is being mauled by a bear. I kind of like have sometimes have like
Bear attack?
a irrational fear of bear attack, like being killed by a bear. That's like that to me is like one of the worst possible ways to go.
Specifically grizzly bears or really
Yeah,
big bear?
like a grizzly bear.
Who's here to
Because
listen?
it is not a pleasant way to go. Like you last, unless they just like happen to smack you, because they say how they're powerful enough that they smacked you the right, like across the head. They could kill you in one swipe,
Like,
possibly
fuck
knock
across
your
the
head
head.
off. But like, that's not usually how it goes down. And you're enduring a lot of excruciating pain for quite a while before you're dead. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, you know what no one really talks about? This thought just randomly popped into my brain. If you live in a fantasy universe with like griffins, do you think they shit as indiscriminately as birds?
oh, for sure.
And imagine how horrible.
No, probably not, because they're like protectors. I was just reading about griffins to my kids the other day, and
They're protectors. They still got to shit.
yeah, they still got a shit, but I don't think they just fly around and go all over everything, because they're like supposed to be like these protectors of kings, like
Depending on
something.
the fantasy universe, man.
That's
Sometimes
just true.
There's whole mounted knights that have a platoon. You think they're
Yeah.
just flying across the land and it's just like, do you think someone?
and then there's like the ones in like say Dragon's Dogma, they just attack you out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
do
They're
you
just
think you catch an errant griffin and shit?
oh yeah, that would yeah probably.
And what do you think would be worse? Like, okay, you live like
And what's it going to be
accidentally
more
being
like?
crapped on by a griffin, or Wizard of Oz again, flying monkeys, but they are specifically targeting you. They're able to fly,
Well,
and they have the throwing strength of a monkey, and they're flinging shit at you.
Well, here's my question: does a griffin? Is it shit more like a lion's shit,
Is a griffin shit?
or is it more like an eagle or a bird's shit? Either way, it would suck
I'm
to
trying to
be
think.
shit on.
I would think it'd probably be more like a lion's, or it would probably be like as massive as a lion that size, but then still liquidy.
Viscous.
And do they
Yeah.
do they eat more like lions, or do they eat more like
Nectar.
birds? Do they just like consume
I think
everything and
it's
shit
a
out the
hybrid.
bones?
I think it's a hybrid, man. Oh man, like that would be hilarious if they actually coughed up like owl pellets, like griffin pellets.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Ooh.
kids in the fantasy universe dissecting griffin pellets. That's my uncle's bones.
Oh boy. Well, boys, it's been
Yeah,
It's been wondrous, but I think
We're
we're,
gonna have to
probably
wrap
going to
it
wrap
up.
it up now. And it's been a long time. I hope people that listen to this have a good time. Enjoy all of our silly.
It's just gonna get weirder if we
Bullshit.
keep going, dude.
Yeah, it's just going to keep getting weird and more and more and more. And Michael's pants will end up off. And
Every time.
thank goodness we don't ever use a camera. Otherwise, they'd be seeing Michael's junk a
I've been
lot.
naked this whole time.
So yeah, join us next time. If anybody does want to make comments, we are no longer distributing our podcast the way we were. So it'd be a little bit different. So they have to comment on the Spotify or on the YouTube comments. Any ideas for shows and ideas for anything you want to talk about, they're more than welcome. We'll answer you and talk to you because we need friends. Right? Jake?
I've got you guys.
Got us, but you know. All right.
Yeah, friend right there.
Next time.
You've got a friend in me. Pull that out, Michael.
Copyright.
Copyright.